ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः. ओम 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 नारायण नारायण. We were today is what day is Wednesday. Yeah, 8th Wednesday. We were discussing 3 adjectives to Adhyasa, Mithya Pratyaya. We have given Swamiji's explanation, and Swamiji was discussing others' explanation of these 3 adjectives. What are they? Adhyasa is Anadiranantaha Mithya Pratyaya Rupaha. 3-1. Anadiranantaha is 1, Naisargika is 2nd, Mithya Pratyaya Rupaha is 3rd. So, as we know, these the commentators, sub-commentators, that is Vyakhyanas on Bhashya, they give different explanation of avidya. Instead of Adhyasa, when Bhashyakara is telling openly in his Adhyasa Bhashya, Adhyaso avidya, tametam evam lakshanam Adhyasam avidya iti manyante, is clearly telling Adhyasa is considered as avidya by the Vedantins. Okay, so here they have something other than Adhyasa, Mula Vidya, which is a material and also cause of Adhyasa. And Adhyasa is twofold. One is Jnanadhyasa, another is Arthadhyasa. Jnanadhyasa means is a misunderstanding, okay, misconception. But Arthadhyasa means a wrong substance. A wrong substance. Okay, so one is Anadiranantaha. How it is Anadi? Now we were discussing Anandagiri's commentary. So you know, commentaries we know. One is a Panchapadika tradition, Vivarana tradition, another is Bhamati tradition. In Panchapadika tradition, Panchapadika itself is written by, is believed to be written by one person, Padmapada, and Padmapada is believed to be a disciple of Bhagavan Shankaracharya. Okay, so that we don't know all those details, but that Panchapadika is not a complete commentary on Sutra Bhashya. It is only up to Chatussutri. And there is a Vivarana explanation of that Panchapadika. Even that also is only up to Chatussutri. So, following this, but the Bhamati, according to Bhamati tradition, Bhamati wrote complete commentary on Sutra Bhashya. Okay, Bhamati wrote complete commentary on Sutra Bhashya. So, that way, Bhamati's own commentary exists complete on complete Sutra Bhashya. Whereas in Vivarana tradition, the Panchapadika Vivarana commentary exists only up to Chatussutri. So, according to Panchapadika tradition, the later Acharyas who came in their line, in their sub-school, we can call them. Shankaras, if you call as an Advaita school, so we can call them as a sub-school of Panchapadika Vivarana 1, Bhamati is a 2nd. So, Panchapadikas, according to those who follow the Panchapadika Vivarana tradition, PV tradition, Panchapadika Vivarana tradition, following that, I think 4 commentaries are existing. First one was by one Chitsukacharya. Chitsukacharya wrote complete Sutra Bhashya. I think Chitsuka is the first one who wrote complete. But Chitruka, unfortunately, is not become popular. Then after him, one Anubhuti Swarupacharya. Anubhuti Swarup, I think Chitsuka was maybe 10th century. So Anubhuti Swarupacharya is a Anandagiri's guru. Anandagiri is well known, you know. Anandagiri, who is a commentator on all Prasthanatrayi Bhashya and Upadesha Sahasri. So he is a well-known Vyakyanakara on Sutra Bhashya, and is commonly read by tradition, by people. And is good at many points, but except these few points on Mula Vidya and these few points, all other points is very good, and then we can follow. And Swamiji also advised us to follow his commentary, except these points where few areas he goes different from Bhashya. Okay, so in Vivarana Panchapadika, according to Panchapadika Vivarana tradition, there can be 4 commentaries, you can say, on complete Sutra Bhashya. Okay, Panchapadika Vivarana are the 2, but they are only up to Chatusutri. But Chitsukacharya wrote a complete commentary on Sutra Bhashya. This is Dakshinamurti Matha. You know, it is a Mahesh Institute. They have published these 3 commentaries. 3 commentaries in one place they have published. One is Chitsukacharya, second is Anubhuti Swarupacharya, third is Anandagiri. Third comes Anandagiri. So 4th commentary is Ratnaprabha. Ratnaprabha follows Anandagiri, but some places he abridges it, some places he adds extra. So his language is simpler compared to Anandagiri. Anandagiri is little more tougher. I mean, language-wise I am talking. So therefore, and smooth reading also. Ratnaprabha is a smoother reading. Therefore, Ratnaprabha has become popular. Now, traditionally, Ratnaprabha is read commonly, and then Anandagiri used to be read before. Some people read even now, but mostly Ratnaprabha once has come. Ratnaprabha has become popular, substituting Anandagiri. Only scholars refer to Anandagiri on certain points. Okay, so Anandagiri follows closely Anubhuti Swarupacharya. Anubhuti Swarupa is Anandagiri's guru, and he follows Anubhuti Swarupas was not known before, but it became known later time. And his is Gita Bhashya is available. His certain other like on Mandukya something is available, and his Gita footnotes is available. So you can see, when you see Anandagiri on Gita, on Sutra Bhashya, he follows closely Anubhuti Swarupacharya. He follows his gurus. He takes all his gurus' ideas, and few places he adds a little more. So Anandagiri that way is not an independent commentary. It's just a following. A few places he adds a few more little points extra. Otherwise, it is just following repetition of his own guru. Once Anandagiri became popular and Anubhuti Swarupacharya, people forgot, and therefore people thought that Anandagiri is totally an independent commentary. It is not an independent. It is only repetition of Anubhuti Swarupa. Okay. So this is a little extra information for the scholars, those who want to study. So we should have done that, where Chitsukacharya adds any extra point and Anubhuti Swarupa adds any extra points. Otherwise, most of them will be repetition, same points are repeated. Okay. So Anandagiri and Ratnaprabha. Anandagiri's commentary, see, they give names to commentaries, okay, so that it becomes easily remembered. So they give a name. Anandagiri's commentary on Sutra Bhashya is called Nyaya Nirnaya. See the name, he is a lover of Tarka. Anandagiri uses a lot of Tarka because there is an independent work by Anandagiri which is purely Tarkika work, purely a Tarka Shastra. You can see them highly Tarkic language. The logicians, Nayayika's language he uses. So even in Sutra Bhashya you find often his Tarkika's language. That makes Anandagiri more tougher. Whereas Shankaracharya's language is simple and smooth. Prasanna Gambhiram, that what is his name? Bhamatikara says, Prasanna Gambhiram, Bhashyam Shraddhayarave, he says. Prasanna is lucid and Gambhira is profound. Lucid and profound Bhashyakara's language is lucid and ideas are profound. So Anandagiri is a complicated, and some places he just becomes illogical also. But since he has to follow certain tradition, he follows his own explanations. Some places he is very good, Anandagiri, helps us in understanding Bhashya. Many places he helps us. So only a few places where he differs from Bhashya, like Mula Vidya and such place, we have to give up. Okay. So here you see, Anandagiri is a Nyaya Nirnaya. On this point, Adhyasa's three adjectives. One is Anadirananta, second is Naisargika, third is Mithya Pratyaya Rupa. On this, commenting on these three adjectives of Adhyasa of Bhashyakara, Anandagiri gives his own interpretation. And then Ratnaprabha also gives. So Swamiji quotes both and refutes both on this point. So as I told you before, when you quote others and try to show how it is wrong, first we have to understand what they say. And in understanding what is their interpretation, what is their explanation, we find it very difficult because it is logically put up. It is a logically put up hypothesis rather than, because they go round and round and round and then try to build up through logic rather than point out Anubhava. Vedanta is an Anubhava Shastra. It is a Vichara Shastra. Just observe what is in your Anubhava. That's why Upanishads talk directly Anubhava, and also Bhashyakara also, as far as possible, just goes directly and doesn't go into unnecessary logic at all. Unnecessary logic, it doesn't build up any hypothesis. And in fact, this not building hypothesis, some people found fault with it, and they found that it is a defect of Shankara, and then the post-Shankarites who built up over Bhashya with all hypotheses, and they told that they have improved over Shankara, and they have put Vedanta on a stronger grounds by giving logical explanation of every concept of Vedanta. Then they built Shankara's philosophy. They have made Shankara's philosophy, reinforced Shankara's philosophy. They made it a thorough fort, unassailable by others. This is how they appreciate it. Those who like a lot of philosophy, but Shankara never explained as a philosophy. He did it as a Vichara Shastra. It is just an Anubhava Vichara Sadhana. Shankara took it as a Vichara Sadhana to understand the truth. He did not take interest in it as a philosophy. Philosophy means logically you build up the concept after concept. Okay. Shankara was not interested in building up the concept, but only do Atma Vichara. In that Atma Vichara, certain technical terms have to be used to help you to understand. That's all. Wherever necessary, he did it. He didn't go into unnecessary building up into hypothesis. So that is a difference. And this difference appeals to some people, either because of their mindset that some people love the very everything theoretically explanation, hypothesis building, ideological explanation. Some people like it. More and more logically presenting it, make it more philosophy rather than Tattva Vichara. Okay. So because they love it more as a philosophical topic, therefore have I blocked it? I'm not seeing anybody. So just let me see, have I unconsciously blocked it? I don't know. Yeah, this is live. Edit privacy. Abba. This is the problem. I don't know why it is happening. Again and again it is getting blocked. Huh. Now I made it public. This Facebook. I was wondering why it is getting blocked. I don't know. For no reason it is getting locked. Okay. Now I made it public. Because I didn't see anybody's face here, anybody's name, comment. Then I wondered. Anyway. Is there an option here itself? I don't know. Is there an option on the screen itself? I don't know. These are all symbols. I don't know what those symbols imply. If I touch them, something may happen. I don't want to touch now at the moment. I'll experiment later. Okay. So Vyakyanakaras, Anandagiris is a more tougher because you need, that's why somebody recently telephoned to me that Swamiji, I want to learn Vedanta. Do I need Vyakarana? Do I need a knowledge of Sanskrit grammar and also Tarka Shastra? He was studying Vyakarana, Lagu Kaumudi, and do I need even Siddhanta Kaumudi also? I replied, you don't need so much of grammar. You don't need so much of Tarka. The basic common sense is enough. We don't need much of Tarka. Okay. Because Vedanta is just an Anubhava Shastra, it's not a philosophy. This Swamiji has been telling it. Therefore, see, now I see the names of the people because it is blocked. Unconsciously it is locked. I made it public, now I am able to see people. Anyway, good. Those who have missed them, you can read, you can listen to them again. Sorry, for a few minutes it was locked. I was not conscious. I don't know why my phone is getting, as a default, it is getting locked. I don't know why it should get locked like that. I made it public and tomorrow again it gets locked. And public gets locked and only becomes private. I don't know why it is happening like this. I should ask him. I should ask him to how to make it always public. I will ask our Ram Prakash to make it always public. So it is unconsciously, it remained public and now it remained private. Now I made it public. Okay. So Anandagiri uses the language of Tarka, language of logic. Logician's language, he uses it and it becomes difficult. Okay. So you have to be little good grounding on Tarka Shastra, then only you can understand, otherwise you can't understand. Then regarding Bhamati, shall I tell you? Regarding Bhamati, not only you need a good grounding on Tarka Shastra, Tarka Shastra mele ಒಳ್ಳೆಯ ಪರಿಜ್ಞಾನವಿರುವುದೇ ಅಲ್ಲವೇ ಮೀಮಾಂಸನೂ ಬೇಕಾಗ್ತದೆ. For what? For yeah, the same thing. I don't know, because it is getting, for unconsciously it is getting blocked. Now I opened it. Suspecting it, I suspected and opened. Otherwise, I would not know. I would have continued like this alone without my knowledge. It is each time unconsciously getting public is getting blocked and becoming private. I don't know why it is happening. Now I have, every day I am making public. Every day it is going back to private. Therefore, it is not visible to you. I already, okay. I'll ask Ram Prakash so that I make it permanently public only. Because there is nothing private, I don't need to hide anything. All my talks are open. Even my criticism, everything is open. Because I do criticism with sincerity, therefore I leave it open. So, Anandagiri uses a lot of Tarkika language. So, to understand Anandagiri, you must have a good grounding on Tarka Shastra. And in order to understand even Chitsukacharya is a good Tarkika. I don't know why after Shankara's time, Panchapadika is a simpler language. Panchapadika is a simple Samskrita and beautiful Samskrita. Panchapadika, in Prakriya, he differs from Shankara, but his language is beautiful. And many places he explains Shankara nicely. A few points where he differs alone is a problem. Where he differs, you leave them. But other points is very beautifully explains Shankara very nicely. So his language is simple, prasanna. Even Swamiji says in his Swamiji translated a 50% of Panchapadika into Kannada and published it. We have it. And I should do the remaining part, remaining half. I think I'm planning to do that. I don't know when will it happen. We have to complete the Panchapadika in Kannada and also make it into English too. Okay. Now, his editing and then footnotes on Panchapadika is very good. Swamiji did Panchapadika and we have to do it completely. We will do it. We'll try. Because it's a single man, therefore it's becoming a problem. No assistant, nothing. Alone, I have to struggle hard with all these things. So it takes a long time. Panchapadika, even Vivarana is also okay. Here and there, a little Tarka he uses, but better. But once it comes to Chitsuka, it became highly Tarkika. And Anubhuti Swarupacharya is slightly better. But Anandagiri again brings back Tarkika. Ratnaprabha uses Tarka again. Therefore, that afterwards, then all the commentators started using more and more Tarka Shastra based, Tarka Shastra vocabulary, Tarka Shastra's style of explanation. So they made it more of a Tarka Shastra rather than Vedanta. Swamiji one place told that unconsciously, unfortunately and unconsciously or consciously, we don't know, Vedanta has become one branch of Tarka Shastra. Vedanta has not remained Vedanta. It has become a branch of Tarka Shastra. Unfortunately. Whereas later prakaranas like Viveka Chudamani and then Viveka Chudamani is a simpler. It doesn't use much of Tarka, but he entered into Yoga Shastra. He mixed up yogic language which is not suited to Vedanta. That Viveka Chudamani does it. When it comes to Panchadashi is a simple language. He doesn't use much of Tarkika language, but is better than others. A few points alone, he just goes into yoga and other darshanas, but again comes back. Partly he deviates into yogic language and other languages, Sankhya, Yoga, Sankhya. Partly he deviates. At the end, he comes back to again Shankara's Prakriya. That's why Swamiji told regarding Panchadashi, it is a mixing of Shankara and post-Shankarites. So Panchadashi cannot be categorized as totally post-Shankarites. Though Panchadashi of Vidyaranya is a later Grantha and the most popular text, that Panchadashi, it is a partly in Mula Vidya, of course, it is a post-Shankarite. But in his language and style, certain other things, he again comes back to Shankara. So it's a mixture of combination of Shankara and post-Shankara Prakriyas. So, but earliest books like Panchapadika, Vivarana, these are all technical details. Those who are interested may listen. So in the process, for sake of record, I have to say certain things because those who are interested may listen. Other people can ignore. Okay. Other people can just ignore these certain technical details. So Anandagiri and Ratnaprabha, they use a lot of Tarkika's language. Okay, and the concepts also. Concepts means that taking avidya is a substance, Mula Vidya is a substance, and Adhyasa is a karya, as a product of it. And then Adhyasa is a twofold Adhyasa. Another is Jnana Adhyasa and Artha Adhyasa. Adhyasa is a knowledge, misunderstanding, and Adhyasa is a substance. Adhyasa is a substance is a very strange thing. Adhyasa means misconception. Misconception, wrong conception and wrong object they talk of. Wrong knowledge and wrong object. They talk of Adhyasa, of twofold Adhyasa. So, wrong concept is understood. Wrong conception, but wrong knowledge. But wrong object, how do you say? They just try to put it. I think these are all Gauna. Gauna means just imagine some school, some concept. To avoid that concept, they imagine many things. Anyway, so that while vicharaka it becomes a problem. It may be good as a hypothesis to build something, but some of the hypotheses create problems in if you go by anubhava. Okay, they go against anubhava and against logic. Okay, now coming to our topic. Now this extra details, technical details are enough. We come back to our explanation. So Anandagiris we are discussing. Anandagiri gives explanation of Adhyasa. 3 adjectives he explains in his own way. One is Anadi. What is Anadi? He says it is a Pravaha Anadi. This we have discussed already. It's Anadi, according to Shankara, it is free from time. It cannot be related in terms of time. But they imagine it is born, Adhyasa is born, and again Adhyasa leaves samskara. The samskara produces into Adhyasa. Adhyasa samskara. This is a chain. So chain like Pravaha like Anadi. So their beginningless is a secondary. It is not a primary beginningless. That we have discussed already. Second is Naisargika. Naisargika also they say that it is Naisargika. We discussed more elaborately how contrasting with Sankhya. Okay, contrasting with Sankhya, how they take it is sticking to Brahman, therefore Naisargika. Mula Vidya is Avidya that sticks to Brahman, therefore they are applying to this Naisargika. Upadanasya maya shaktitaya jadasya chaitanya satvanu bandhatvat adhisthana badhyatvam siddhavatkritya naisargika ityuktam. Adhyasa is naisargika. See, Bhashyakara is talking Adhyasa is instinctive, is natural. But they apply that naisargika to Mula Vidya, to the cause of Adhyasa. Then why Bhashyakara said Adhyasa is naisargika, Adhyasa is natural? So they say, oh, Adhyasa is natural. In fact, Adhyasa is not natural because Adhyasa is born, according to them. According to them, Adhyasa is a product. So when it is a product, how can it be naturally existing? So they say Mula Vidya is natural, and that Mula Vidya's naturalness is imported to Adhyasa. So this looks very, very, I don't know how to say that. It's a very wrong, because when Bhashyakara says openly, you make it secondary. You make Bhashyakara's words secondary and give another thing. It looks that then Bhashyakara doesn't mean what he says. He uses the word and they take it in a different sense, and in that sense it is okay, it is not really. See, it is like example that the person is supposed to attend the meeting and then he did not come. He sent his secretary or somebody. Some secretary or somebody in his place. He did not come and attend. Now we say that, oh, he has attended the program, attended. Then when you say, how can you say that he has attended when he has not come here at all? Then you say, oh, because he sent his representative, therefore we take it for granted that he has attended. But he attending and sending a representative, there is a difference. There is a difference. He has not come in person. He sent his secretary. So his secretary may go and report, but he is not exactly the same person. So this is a secondary sense. Now you can't say he has attended. You say he sent his representative. But you can't say that he attended. He is personally present, you can't say. So when Bhashyakara is telling directly Naisargika, they apply it to Mula Vidya, and they say that, oh, therefore Bhashyakara says Naisargika in this sense only. But don't say that. Bhashyakara really says directly Adhyasa is natural. Adhyasa is natural. He did not say that Adhyasa is a product, and therefore what is product, how can it be natural? Because it is not naturally there. And they say it is a Adhyasa is a, they say Mula Vidya is there. And see the interpretation of naturalness also, we discussed in our last class. I just repeat in 2 or 3 sentences and proceed with the next word. They slightly borrowed from Sankhya. Sankhya say Atma produces, Prakriti produces the world. And with Jnana what happens? It gets separated, that's all. So they borrowed the Sankhya's Prakriti and told Prakriti during Adhyasa Kala it sticks to Atma. Okay. Now they say Mula Vidya sticks to Atma. It is Anadi. It sticks to Atma, but only on Jnanam it gets destroyed. This way they say. So Chaitanya Sattvanu Bandhitvat. These are our words of Anandagiri. Even Panchapadika says the same thing. Mula Vidya sticks to the consciousness before Adhyasa, and that produces Adhyasa. Without being Adhyasa, Mula Vidya sticks to consciousness. But it can be destroyed by Jnanam. This is a contradiction. This I have discussed previously, and even in the beginning of our Sugama talks, earlier talks also, I discussed. So, what is stick? First thing is, nothing can stick to consciousness unless it is Adhyasa. This is the basic principle. Everything is Adhyasa. When everything is Adhyasa, when everything is Adhyasta, Brahman alone can be, Brahman as he is non-dual. Chaitanyam, consciousness as he is, can be non-dual. Okay? Chaitanyam as he is can be non-dual only if everything else is Adhyasa. If it is not Adhyasta, sticking to Brahma, how can you call Brahman as non-dual? See? Isn't it strange? You say it is not Adhyasta, it is sticking to Brahman. If it is not Adhyasta, then Brahman's non-duality suffers. Brahman can't be called non-dual. Chaitanyam can't be called Advaitam, because there is something additional to it. They say it is dependent upon Brahman, it sticks to Brahman, but if it is not Adhyasta, one is, when it is not Adhyasta, one thing is Brahman's non-duality suffers. Second, it cannot go by Jnanam. What is Adhyasta alone can be corrected by Jnanam. Adhyasta means what? What it doesn't belong to it but appears to be there due to misunderstanding. That misunderstanding can be corrected, telling no, it doesn't really belong to Atma. It is something imposed from outside. That's all. The very understanding that it is imposed from outside, then Brahma becomes clean by himself, non-dual, untouched by anything else. Okay. That it is imposed from outside, understanding that it is imposed from outside, leaves Brahman non-dual, untouched by anything else. So Jnanam can do only this much. Jnanam can teach Adhyasa as an Adhyasa. What is imposed as an imposed. What is imposed is not understood as imposed during Adhyasa. Adhyasa is not understood as Adhyasa during Adhyasa. Only by Jnanam you come to realize, oh, it is imposed, it is not really sticking to Atma. In fact, this is what Jnanam teaches. Now you see how they explain. It is not imposed, it is sticking to Atma, but Jnanam can destroy it. This is a very strange, peculiar concept. It is not imposed. If it is not imposed, one problem arises, that it is Brahman's non-duality suffers. Because Brahman has got another additional substance with him. Second point, if it is not imposed, what does the Jnanam do? Can Jnanam come and break it and destroy it? They say yes, Jnanam destroys it. This is what Vyakhyanakara says. Jnanam destroys it. How can a substance be destroyed by Jnanam? Can Jnanam destroy anything? Can a light destroy anything? Light comes and illumines what is there. That's all. Light illumines what is there. It doesn't destroy anything. Darkness is only absence of light. When the light comes, they say it removes darkness. That's a way of telling. When light comes, it removes darkness. What is darkness? It is an absence of light. When light comes, what happens? There is no darkness. That's what it means. Darkness is not something a cover, is not something a thin black layer covering the object. When you bring the light, it is something like a fog. We shouldn't imagine darkness like a fog. That's how they say. They present it. Darkness is something like a substance, a thin layer of black. Like a fog in winter, you see. in the winter when sun rises, still fog remains. The fog is sometimes so thick in Delhi, in places like Delhi and Rishikesh. In Delhi and Rishikesh, Delhi they call in English, Delhi in Hindi. It is a Dehali Sanskrit word. Okay, so in Delhi and Rishikesh and other places, the fog, which is like a smoke, looks like a smoke. So it in fact covers sun. Sun's light will be not visible, and after sun rises, it takes some time. Sun takes 1 or 2 hours to gradually melt away the fog. And then the fog melts away, then you have a clear picture of what is there, clear picture of things around. So fog is like a smoke. In appearance, it has got a smoke color, but it colors your vision. It obstructs your vision of objects. Okay, even it obstructs even the light. Light looks like a dim light. Fog is like that. Now, do you say darkness is like a fog? They don't use the word fog. Tushara. They don't use the word, Vyakhyanakaras don't use the word fog, but their acceptance of darkness is similar to fog, because they say just darkness is something substantial. Light comes and destroys it. These two concepts are hypothesis. Hypothesis only. Thesis. Thesis singular, thesis is plural. I don't know whether my pronunciation is correct. SIS is singular, SES is plural. Thesis, end of the word. Okay, thesis. So, these two are only thesis, hypothesis, and kalpanika ideas. They are imaginary ideas, theoretical ideas, put up by logic, but in Anubhava you don't find it. They are against Anubhava. Darkness is a substance, not simply absence of light. One, this is wrong. Second thing is that light comes and destroys it. Jnanam comes and destroys avidya, which is substantial. And it is sticking to Atma. One, it is sticking to Atma. And Jnana comes and destroys what sticks to Atma. But Shankara's stand, or even Sachidananda Swamiji's stand, is imposed from outside. During Adhyasa, it looks that as if it is sticking to Atma. But then what does the Jnanam do? Jnanam shows that it is not sticking to Atma. In fact, Atma has nothing to do with it. From the standpoint of Atma, nothing exists apart from it. There is nothing other than Atma. That something other, the thought itself is an imposition upon the Atma. Understand that it is an imposition, you discover that Atma is free from it. The very thought that what is other than Atma, the very thought of other than Atma itself is an imposition. Because there is nothing other than Atma. Something additional to Atma, something other than itself is a wrong concept. Understand wrong as a wrong, gone. It's not there. Understand the wrong concept as a wrong concept, it's not there. That's all. So Jnanam can only does this much. And they say no, Jnanam can destroy what is sticking to Atma and not imposed. You understand their concept? I don't know, they may not mean it probably, but this is what they have been telling. They have been telling. And if you say that no, you seem to be presenting wrong, probably you correct your presentation. Swamiji told the same thing. Probably you missed it. Your way of presentation is giving a wrong impression to the listener. Probably you may not mean, but this is what you are presenting it. That's what gives an impression to listener. They say no, this is what we mean. This alone Shankara meant it, and this alone is right. Then we have to criticize you. We are very sorry, we can't help. Because your concept is going wrong. Okay? Because it is not a personal vengeance, personal hatred for anybody. All the acharyas are great and respectable Mahatmas, pujas for us. It is their concept, is their explanation we are disputing, we are discussing. Just like two scientists discover, we don't disrespect scientists. If their concepts alone we discuss, how far they are true, that's all. Somebody's concept may be wrong, so what? It doesn't mean scientist is a less respectable person. In some presentation, in some concept, when somebody may have a wrong concept, but that doesn't mean he's a wrong person. He's a great man. So his presentation is going wrong. Unconsciously, it is giving a wrong impression to listener. Listener is getting another wrong impression, but the speaker is speaking in one way, but listener is getting a wrong impression. That means your presentation defect. You are presenting wrongly, unconsciously some word, some idea, some wrong hypothesis, and the student is taking it seriously and getting stuck. Therefore, we say presentation defect. Prakriya Bheda, not Siddhanta Bheda. Okay? Note it. Don't make unnecessary enmity. Vedantin requires to be a totally selfless man without ragadvesha. We are interested in truth, not interested in quarreling with people, refuting, quarreling, and calling that you are wrong and you should be dismissed and all that. So this is not too much of personal vengeance, personal criticism is not Vedanta at all. It's not a human life. So therefore, we only take up the idea itself giving a wrong impression against Anubhava, against logic, and against Bhashya. Therefore, we say that way of presentation is wrong. Swamiji only correcting their way of presentation and told no, it should be understood as an Adhyasa. It makes sense. That's what we meant it. We only try to correct Vyakhyanakara, not that refute. Refutation means correction only. We try to correct it, make it a true to Bhashya. Therefore, Swamiji told Vyakhyanakaras, these words should be presented in this way, and then so that listener will understand correctly, and he will get a correct understanding of what Bhashyakara meant. That's also Swamiji's is more of a correction rather than of opposing, antagonizing, refuting, and all that. Refuting, opposing, antagonizing, that's not our goal. What is the point in unnecessarily refuting and antagonizing people? Okay. You have to just see it as it is. Okay, so naisargika, natural, instinctive, I don't know how to translate, natural or instinctive, whatever it is, or inborn, I don't know, inherent, I don't know what to say that, inherent, natural. So what is inherent? Sticks to, and they say it is nodi satvanu bandhitvat. This is a verbatim quotation of Anandagiri. Panchapadik also says something like that. It is okay. I started a little late anyway, but 5 minutes passed. Shall I? I think this was only earlier talk. I am just repeating it because there's a long gap was there. I think next to leaving tomorrow, day after tomorrow, again our Sugama class is there. I think I'll proceed with that next topic. What is that? Mithya pratyaya rupaha. This point also they explain very strangely. Still we are discussing Ratna Prabha only. Anandagiri. In Ratna Prabha's explanation also is going to follow next. Now in Anandagiri, now 2 points are over. What is that? Anadi Ananta and Naisargika. Third point is Mithya Pratyaya Rupa. See, Mithya Pratyaya. First let us explain Bhashakaras, then then we will show the contrast with Anandagiri. How Anandagiri's explanation is far removed, far stretched. So, Mithya Pratyaya. Pratyaya means a thought. Mithya Pratyaya, misconception. Rupa, it is in the form of a misconception. Adhyasa, it is in the form of misconception. Repeatedly Bhashyakara says, Adhyasa Mithya Jnanam, in the beginning he says, Adhyaso nama atasmin tadbuddhirityavochama. He told it is a misconception in the middle. And at the end he says Mithya Pratyaya Rupa. In the beginning he says it is Mithya Jnanam, wrong knowledge, false knowledge, wrong knowledge. In the middle he says Adhyaso nama atasmin tadbuddhirityavochama. At the end he again concludes it that it is a misunderstanding. It is a misconception. So 3 times Bhashyakara says that it is a misconception. Why confusing? Getting confused. So that because Vyakhyanakaras already had some idea in view and try to push that idea in the name of Bhashya. So if the Bhashya's words doesn't lend themselves, doesn't give that straight away, their concept, their hypothesis cannot be seen in Bhashya's terms. They try to twist Bhashya's words and re-explain it, use a lot of logic and grammar and etc., stretch the words, and then try to see their own concept in Bhashyakara. This you can see here in clearly Mithya Pratyaya Rupa. Rupa, the form of. Mithya pratyaya. Mithya false, pratyaya is a thought, a false understanding, a false thought. Okay, a wrong thought, a wrong conception, that's all it means. Pratyaya is a conception or a thought, wrong conception. Mithya pratyaya rupa. It is in the Adhyasa, is in the form of a wrong misconception. It is so straight and simple. And it is in keeping with own Bhashyakara statement, and it is logical, and it is according to Anubhava. No, but Anandagiri explains differently. Now, the direct meaning of Mithya Pratyaya is not suiting their concept of Mula Vidya. Now they have to stretch it. Okay. How they stretch it? We have to see that. I think this Mithya Pratyaya Rupa, one word we have to explain. It is a little complicated because a wrong thing, trying to stretch it and go round and round becomes more complicated. We will start in the next class alone because already 12:30, 35 is over. 37. We'll explain. So I repeated these points. By repetition alone, time is gone. So Mithya Pratyaya Rupaha Karana Adhyasa, because it's very complicated. Now if I start, it will take 20 minutes now, not now. Next class. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Guru Bhyo Namaha. Harihi Om Tat Sat. Yesterday we had our Rathotsava in Holy Narspura, and also what is that? And Paurnima, Mai Mundana and all that. So there are certain holy Habba also. Okay. So many 2 or 3 combined. So yesterday I had to skip my class, and then is today Wednesday only? Yeah, it is Wednesday. So we will have tomorrow Paribhasha, Vedanta Paribhasha, day after tomorrow Sugama. Okay. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.